If you're from YouTube, hey. And if you're from Spotify, hello. Today's video is a little different because it's not just another video in my Winter Arc series. It's actually the 11th episode of the Hot Girl Philosophies. If you guys don't know, I have a podcast, and so I usually just post it on my Spotify, but today I felt like this video would be a good video for my YouTube channel, but also on my podcast. So we're gonna do a mix of the two. So hi! I'm literally filming this video in my car because my dogs, my pets, they're all so loud today, and I really wanted to make this video. Okay, but also you guys can see the houses around me, like we're literally just in my driveway. And also it's gonna get dark in like any second now, so I don't know why I filmed this video now, especially because my camera is gonna die. But you know what? We're gonna try our best. We're gonna be talking about my 2025 ins and outs, but 2025 is coming, and I don't know if it's just me, but I truly feel like 2025 is gonna be such a great year. For me, 2024 was such a year of discovery and learning, healing, and putting all those things I've learned into action. But this year, for 2025, it's gonna be very different. The deep healing chapter is over for me, which means it's like a very go era. Like, this is the time where, yeah, you learn so much, but guess what happens after you learn? You start to apply, and that in itself is a very fast-paced energy, and I'm so excited. Like, I already can feel that 2025 is gonna be a year of change. Like, yeah, I've had my mental change, but guess what happens when your mentality changes? Your reality does too, and I'm starting to feel that already. When I tell you guys, the beginning of 2024 was already such a year of healing and mental change, but I was already starting to apply the physical change in the second half of the year. I mean, look at me. I went to Paris. I did a speech. My energy, you guys can tell it is completely different. I'm so much more confident in myself. I went to New York. I went on a women's retreat. So many amazing things, and we're not even talking about 2025 yet. I can already feel I'm going to hit a huge milestone this year, and I don't know what it is, but it's okay because it's cooking up and I'm gonna find out at some point. So for today, we're gonna be starting off with my 2024 reflection, and then we're gonna do 2025 ins and then outs. So I have my iPad here because everything is organized. You know, fun fact, I used to not be an organized person, but I'm actually an extremely organized person now, I would say. Mostly because people are not organized, but guess what happens when you're not organized? You can learn how to be organized. You can build those skills, and that's what I did. Before we get started, I'm gonna have a sip of an energy drink. A little ASMR. Honestly though, I feel like it was a blessing in disguise that I'm filming this video in the car because it's something different. Filming in one place can be very repetitive, so it's nice that I'm switching it up for you guys. Oh, also, I'm big on aromatherapy these days, like making sure that my environment smells good. So we're gonna spray a little bit of this lavender eucalyptus room spray. If you want to give me a good gift, friends, get me like a room spray. I would love that. Just so peaceful. It smells like a big fluffy bed, like I'm ready to go to sleep at a spa. Anyways, let's get started. In 2024, it was really important for me to learn how to gain a sense of identity. I truly believe, like, yes, having goals is extremely important, because if you're not having any goals or any sense of direction, your life is literally directionless. But even though it's important to have goals, I think what's even more important than that is knowing where these goals are coming from, whether it's from your higher self or if these goals are coming from a place of needing acceptance from people around you, your family, your significant other, society, especially the pleasing the parents part. That's a huge thing. It's important to have goals, but I think it's even more important to understand who you are so that you guys can actually make goals that are very aligned to who you are. I think having a sense of identity is extremely important in this journey of trying to become the best version of you. How can you become your highest self if you don't know who your higher self is? It's a road of discovery, and when you can discover who you are, you'll be surprised that your self-esteem goes up. Like, yeah, it goes up because you know who you are. No one can tell you you're not you because you know who you are. No one can judge you for what you say, because at the end of the day, if you're being authentically you, then you know that their judgment is limited to their perspective. Whereas for you, you know who you are. That is actually why it is so scary for some people to be on social media, because they don't know their identity, or they're not strong in that sense. So when people judge them on social media, like, oh, your video sucks, they'll be like, oh my god, wait, this is so embarrassing. But if you knew who you were deep down inside, if you're making videos because you love it, then it doesn't matter what they say, because deep down you know you love it. So them hating it doesn't really apply to you, nor does it correlate to your energy. That's just their perspective. So that's why it's really important to gain self-identity, and I feel like 2024 was a very strong year in that. And to gain my self-identity, it was really important to be alone, have solitude, because when you're alone, that's actually especially when your intuition speaks the most. But that's also why people are so afraid to be alone, because they don't like their thoughts. Their thoughts are scary because your thoughts, your intuition is what you truly want deep inside. And sometimes what you want is not something that can be easily accepted by society. But we're not here to live by society. We're here to live authentically. Sometimes you have to be bold, and sometimes you have to go against the grain. Another thing that really helped me with gaining my self-identity was not only just having solitude, but also creating really strong boundaries so that I could protect my energy, my peace, and so that I could cultivate an environment that made me feel safe enough so that I could be creative, so that I could listen to myself, so that I could feel peace, so I'm not around people that make me feel energetically drained. When you have a really good environment, not only does it allow your energy to flourish, but also it allows you to create a routine that is more suited to who your higher self is. Then you can show up as your higher self, which also boosts your self-esteem. Because when you have a solid routine, you're confident in that, right? Because it's like, oh, I do this, this, and this at this time. That builds self-confidence, thus creating a stronger self-identity. Another thing that was really important for 2024 was living in courage and bravery, which is a really scary thing because the only way you really can grow is by being uncomfortable. Like if you're literally always comfortable, how can you discover more about yourself? You're doing the same things, repeated, cycle. No, thank you. I was breaking that cycle this year by trying things that actually intimidate me, because what happens when you're uncomfortable? What happens when you're feeling fear? It allows you to learn more about yourself. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What fears do I have attached to this action? So that's something that was really important for me, and so I did that by traveling more, doing a speech, but mostly doing a lot of shadow work. A lot of my fears actually stem from not being able to get very vulnerable with myself. Coming into 2024, I was really learning how to get my anxiety under control. So that's what really scared me. But yeah, traveling to New York all by myself, that was huge. Another thing I prioritized was having good sleep, which God bless, I learned how to do that. Trust me, when you get a lot of sleep, it really changes your mood. You wake up excited to start your day. You wake up excited to just be productive. It was also really important for me to listen to more podcasts in 2024, but also read more books, which I definitely did that. I even started my own podcast, I also wanted to do more workout classes, which I definitely did that. I made that such a routine, going to Pilates at least once a week, or yoga, or just gymming quite often, which I do. Physical activities are very important to me. It makes me feel really good and very confident about myself. So that's something I definitely prioritize. Something I did a lot was actually visualizations. Whenever I was meditating, I always visualized how my higher self looked like, felt like, what they were doing, what they had, their characteristics, just how they energetically felt. Because when you can feel how your higher self feels you can start showing up as her, Now we're going to talk about our 2025 ins. I'm definitely going to be prioritizing making sure that I have a life that's very exciting. I've learned that excitement is a very strong indicator of a high vibration. So if you feel excited and you feel that every single day, you're on a high vibration. If you're high vibrational, you're going to attract high vibrational things. That's literally it. I've learned that the key to having a life that is abundant and awesome and feels great is literally just energy. You have to learn how to put yourself on a high vibration, and if you don't know how to do that, this is a great chance to learn how. The quickest way I learned to do this was just doing things that excite me. It's that simple. Things that excite me happen to be creating, making videos, going to the gym, being a self-development queen. Things like that are really fun to me. Spending time with people I love. It's really not that hard. I've learned that we're so stuck on finding our life purpose, and we think that's actually one thing, but in reality, purpose to me just means reason to live. And everything is created from the present moment. In this current moment, what gives you a reason to live? Me personally, right now, I wanted to make this YouTube video. I'm doing that. I'm living my purpose right now. Your purpose is not just one thing. And if you watch the movie Soul, you'll totally understand this message. People think purpose is one thing. No, purpose is not your end all, what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. It's just, what's your purpose to live right now? What gives your life meaning right now? Go do that. It's as simple as that. Your future isn't created in the future. No, your future is created by what you do today. The only place you can create is from now. If you go out, you're like, oh, one day I'm gonna do this, this, and this. You're literally wasting your present moment. If you want to live a life that is fulfilling, learn how to cultivate that environment now, right now. What can I do today to make my life feel more fulfilling? What can I do today that brings me more fulfillment? Because now is where everything is created, literally in the now. I really learned that your life is such a reflection of your internal space. If you hate your life and you're like, oh my God, all these bad things keep happening to me, it's a result of the things you have going on in your head, these subconscious beliefs and patterns. My life is 100 times better than it was a year ago. And guess what I did? All I did was work on my mindset, work on my traumas, my triggers, my internal beliefs, my subconscious beliefs. Everything in your brain is not the truth. And you can rewire it so that you can create a perspective to look at life in a more abundant way. I learned how to be more abundant by learning how to be more abundant today. And today, being more abundant meant letting go of all expectations and being like, okay, this is just what I have to work with. What can I do in this moment to feel abundant? And that's such a personalized question for everyone, but when you really learn how to appreciate everything you come with, literally self-love, appreciate your goods, your bads, that sort of self-acceptance brings you more love and abundance. If you love yourself, life will be a reflection of the love you have for yourself. If you want a life that makes you feel more whole, learn how to live more whole today. All of us are so stuck in the past, so stuck in the what ifs and the futures that's draining you of your potential right now. That's why, yeah, we can have all these desires, but if you don't know where it's coming from, it's just going to bring you a lot of lack. Like, you want all this money, right? Oh, I'm gonna manifest money, but in reality, you don't know why you want that money. Maybe it's coming from a place of wanting to be accepted by others so that you could be like, oh, I have my life together, or have money so you could prove to your parents, like, yeah, this job, yeah, it's working out for me. But in reality, you don't even like the job, right? Where is it coming from? Is it coming from self-love? Because if it's not coming from self-love, it's only going to bring you more of where it's coming from. So if you want to be more accepted by the people around you, because you feel like if you're accepted by them, you'll be more loved, then you're only going to create more of that distance of love from yourself that you could give yourself. No, you're relying on it to be given to you by someone else, when in reality, every single thing you ask of other people can be given to you by yourself, to yourself. Another goal I have for 2024 is to be more vulnerable. This is something that I feel like I'm good at, but I'm also hitting a point where it's getting hard, and that's a good thing. That means that I'm continuously challenging myself, but right now I've learned that, like, it's been a little bit hard to be super vulnerable with you guys. I get scared. Like, I literally get scared to tell you guys what's really happening in my life sometimes, but that's a good thing, because that just means that I have some internal fears that I just have to work out. And I think deep down inside, all of us are afraid of being truly seen, because deep down inside, it's a little scary, you know? It's human nature to be afraid to be judged by the people around you, because it's human nature to want to be accepted. So sometimes it's very scary to be vulnerable, but that's something I've been trying to practice, because I think that truly being vulnerable is where your true power can be seen, and you can really make an impact to the people around you. So yeah, I want to learn how to be more vulnerable and post more videos and stop being such a perfectionist, like, especially when it comes to social media. When it comes to my YouTube videos, I get so in my head sometimes, and I get scared that my video is not perfect. No such thing as perfect, girlfriend, only perception. So another thing I want to do is actually just post so much more, be more vulnerable, and that just means working with my mindset and stop being so afraid to be seen. But you know what? If I'm afraid, I'm still gonna do it. The more you do something, the less scary it becomes. Okay, this is another thing I want to do, which is kind of scary to say this to you guys too, because it's so vulnerable, but it's a new thing I've decided I want to try. I really want to get into mindset coaching. I feel like that's something I really love doing. Like, I really just want to help people do what I've done for myself, which is reach my higher self, learn how to connect with her, move from her, and create a life that is just very soul aligned. I really want to get into mindset coaching, but I have a lot of internal doubts and fears, but that's how I know that's where I need to go. That's where I need to heal and gain power. Who knows what happens, but I feel like I would be really good at that. Like, recently, I've been told so many times that I have a way of, like, getting people to understand themselves a little bit better, and I don't know, maybe I actually have a spiritual life coach too, so I have somebody I can look up to. I think that's huge, and it happened for a reason, so that I could learn and start reflecting that sort of energy myself when the student becomes the teacher. Another thing I want to do is sing and act more. I love singing, but I don't sing for people, so I want to just sing for myself. And singing is a very big form of creativity, and it allows you to go into a flow state, which is really fun. The flow state is your higher self. That's so high vibrational, guys. And if you guys are wondering, I feel like my singing style is more like opera, which is like the most random thing ever, but I love to pretend I'm an opera singer. I just feel like that's where my voice flourishes the most. So maybe I'll sing for you guys one day. Psych! But fun fact, I started my channel as a singing channel in the beginning because I thought that I was gonna be a singer first. Therefore, always chase your intuition. Do what you want to do today, because it's gonna lead you closer and closer to what you're meant to be doing one day. Because I started thinking I was gonna be a singer. I didn't become a singer, but guess what I became on YouTube? A self-development girly, a lifestyle girly, and that's still fun. 2024 was such a huge year of healing my feminine energy. 2025 is going to be a year of really embracing that feminine energy so that I can embrace my masculine even more. I took a lot of time for myself to go inward, meditate, and literally just receive everything, whether that's from the universe or love from the people around me. And love for myself, most importantly. But now I'm ready to be a go on the go masculine energy. I'm gonna make so much money type vibes. Like, I feel it. It's ready to come out. Like, masculine energy Sandy is ready to just come out and just create such a crazy 3D reality for me. The amount of money I'm gonna make this year is stupid crazy. I can feel it. The things I'm gonna achieve is crazy. 3D is not everything, but when you're healed and you're masculine and you start getting aligned with your higher self, that's when your 3D starts to reflect. And yeah, it is nice to get that 3D reflection. And I believe that women are very emotional based. That's why when you learn to master your emotions, that's when you can truly learn to master your masculine. Because imagine being hyper masculine, but your emotions are all over the place. At that point, you can be masculine, make all these monies, but all your emotions are gonna hinder you. Like, wait, is this my self-worth? Blah, blah, blah. Feminine is going to dictate how you internally feel about yourself. And when you master that, then your masculine energy is going to just flourish, because now you're not going to take what you do in the 3D world personally. It's just actions to get you to where you need to be from a neutral place. Another thing I'm going to be doing is living fully from my intuition. And if you struggle to do this, it's because you have fears that are hindering you, fears that keep you from doing things from an authentic place. But that's not the end all, guys, because if you have fears, use that as an internal compass to dictate, okay, I am a little bit triggered here, or I'm scared here. How can I use that to my advantage to learn more about myself? Fears are just darker energies and shadows in your bodies, right? But what you have to do to it is bring light to it so that it's no longer a shadow. So if you have fears, let's talk to it. Let's understand it. Let's rip the band-aid, girlfriend, and do the internal work so that it's no longer a fear. You see one thing too many times, at that point it's not scary anymore. Fears are actually really good because it's a way of your soul telling you, okay, this is what you need to work on. And that's okay, because it's time to give grace to yourself for the things you're afraid of. We're all scared of something. Use that to your advantage, girlfriend. What we're not going to do is bring ourselves down for having these shadows, triggers, traumas, blah, blah, blah. We are yin and yang. So it's time to accept everything we come with and then do the work, do the healing, because we love ourselves enough to do it. Now that I'm in a place where I can live from my intuition so fully, and yeah, sometimes I get scared, but a lot of times I've learned how to work with my fear. And yeah, I'm scared, but I'm going to choose bravery. I'm going to choose to be brave and live in courage. The reality is, when you think of your higher self, what do you think of? Abundance, love, amazing, awesome energy, this individual that can achieve anything she could ever want. Yeah, that version, you feel that in you. You can feel her, you can see her because she exists. If you can think it, it's a possibility. At some point of the quantum realm, there's a version of you that is so fucking abundant. So all we have to do is learn how to get on that frequency so that we can start being her. The only thing keeping you from being your higher self, though, is energy. It's mindset. It's knowledge. So you know what you gotta do? It's time to start loving yourself. It's time to start doing things that are high vibrational so that you can reach that. You know what's the highest frequency? Self-love. That is why it is the answer to everything. Time to tackle your fear, girlfriend, because that's the only thing holding you back from being your higher self. I'll be damned if I let a fear hold me back from being rich and gorgeous and awesome, even though I'm already that right now. But still. But also, now that I've learned how to listen to my intuition and, you know, I've worked through all my fears, this has allowed me to actually move through life from a neutral place, because now you hear your intuition. You're just gonna do it. If you don't do it because you're scared, that's not a neutral place. Being afraid doesn't feel like neutrality. Working through your fears allows your natural instincts and intuition to come through, which is so powerful, because this is what we call like the path of least resistance. That is a path that's going to bring you the most abundance. Why? Because that is your flow. When you don't feel any resistance around you, that's your flow. You're letting your intuition speak through you and you just do it, and it feels great because it's like, wow, I'm learning so much. I'm listening to my intuition. Every time you listen to your intuition, girlfriend, you learn learn something, you're doing something that your soul is so happy about, you're going to gain something from that. Your intuition is going to bring you to where you're meant to be, not where you want to be, girlfriend. Sometimes we say we want things, but it's just our ego saying, oh, we want this. No, listen to your intuition, because your intuition knows what's meant for you. Sometimes what's meant for you is not to have a lot of money, but if you learn how to be happy internally, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't have ever mattered. And when I say having a path of resistance is not a good thing, I'm not saying it's not good to have fear though. Sometimes you have fear when it is your path, because we all have fears holding us back from doing what our heart solely wants. Sometimes we have our ego, and our ego gets afraid to do new things, but that's why you should do it, because you're learning. Once you overcome that hump, you become powerful. But resistance though, that's a feeling of like, oh, no, this is actually just not my path. But it's learning discernment to understand, okay, is this coming from my ego being afraid to do all these things, or is this truly my soul being like, this feels fucking wrong, like hell no, we're not doing that, right? Being able to listen between the two. Your soul will speak, but so will your ego. Is learning how to decipher between the two. But guess how you do that? Self-mastery, understanding your emotions, understanding where your thoughts are coming from, so that you can act from a place of your soul, your spirit, your higher self. But with listening to my intuition, that also means eating intuitively. I eat things based off of what my higher self wants. It's like the craziest thing. Like I'll go and pick some fruits at the store, and I'll be like, higher self, which fruit do you want today? Oh, jumbo blueberries? Bet. Antioxidants? Bet. Okay, cool. So right now I'm going through a jumbo blueberry phase, and I love it. Another thing I want to learn how to do in 2025 is sleeping in silence. Very odd one, but I struggle to sleep in silence. I always have to listen to like frequency music, so I'm learning how to stop doing this. I learned that your higher self speaks to you most when it knows you're not going to do it, because your ego is afraid. Because if you actually did what your soul would want, your ego would be a little uncomfortable, because it's like, oh, this is new. So I'm learning to sleep in silence, because I really want to listen to my heart and my soul and understand, okay, what can I do from this moment to benefit my higher self? And sometimes I get kind of scared by the thoughts running through my head. I'm like, no, we're clocked out. Only from this time to time can my soul speak. But I'm learning to like not be afraid, because sometimes your best thoughts come when you're like laying in bed. Is it just me? Is it just me, guys? Another thing is I want to take more classes, more courses. I want to learn. The only thing that's hindering you from being your absolute highest version of you is just experience, knowledge. That's why you got to go out there and learn. Knowledge is literally power. Every time you go and spend money for your higher self, whether that's on a course or on an experience, you're always going to benefit, because money is just energetic exchange. How much are you willing to pay to be the best version of you? I don't know. That's why I'd be spending so much money on all these thingies like experiences or whatever. But you know what? I've learned so much about myself every single time. Like when I went to New York all by myself, that was a very expensive trip. But guess what? I learned something. I learned that I still had a part of me that was controlling my life. But in that trip, I learned how to heal myself from that moment. And now I fully am living in flow. And it feels fucking amazing. Another thing though is really making money. Like this is a huge goal for me. I truly believe that things like money are just a reflection of how you feel about yourself. It's an internal space. It's just an energetic thing. And every time I've been my most authentic self and I've really mastered my energy, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, right? It goes and flows. It's like a seasonal thing. But whenever my frequency is really good, I notice I make so much money. And so I want to continue this. I love making money. I think my higher self just loves it. Not all of our higher selves are gonna care about money. We're all on a completely different journey and path, but for me personally, I do think that this lifetime I'm going to make a lot of money. Like example, recently I learned this from my cousin, but basically I made a fake check for $1. I kid you guys not. A few days later, an opportunity came for that. I'm just saying. And my energy has been so insanely good for like the past year, so I did not doubt that was gonna happen. Like I am a manifestation queen at this point. If you want it, you can get it. Work on your energy though. Like 2025 is already such a good year. Like I'm already projecting so much financial abundance in the first month of 2025. I'm so happy. I just feel so blessed and abundant, but all of this was already felt before those opportunities came, because like I said, your physical world is just a reflection of your internal world. Money is neutral. Tell me why I was trying to control my money at one point, but it was controlling me at that point. No, I'm at a place where I've learned money is just a neutral little energy. It's just energy. So how can we work with that? Oh, master your energy. Then you can master every possible energy in the world. I am manifesting something fucking insane. Give it a few years, maybe one, maybe two. I'm hoping this year I'm going to manifest something so important to me, and I'm so excited. But then again, I leave it all up to the universe and I allow the outcome to turn out however it's meant to. to. I just release control. And sometimes you want one thing and you go for it, you find yourself on a different path. And that's okay too, because I trust that everything is happening for me, my highest good, because it always has. Every single time I've gone through something completely shitty and it's redirected me, I found myself even happier, more soul aligned, and that's all that matters. But just wait, I'm so excited. I really hope I manifest this thing I'm thinking about. On the topic of posting more though, I want to make sure that everything I post is very self-growth, spirituality, and like self-development based. That's where my heart lies. I care about that more than anything. I do want to journal and meditate more, which is a given. Okay, anyways, now we're gonna talk about my outs, because I've been talking for such a long time, but to be honest, I don't have a lot of outs. I feel like 2024 was such a good fucking year, so we're gonna continue this bitch. Okay, we're gonna continue being awesome, but I do have a few outs because I think it's healthy to have a few. The first one is disingenuine friendships. Real friendships is non-judgmental, unconditional love. At the end of the day, we're on the same frequency. We love each other. If you're a busy girl, I'm a busy girl, that's okay. If we find ourselves not talking for a little bit, but we come back and everything is still the way it was, that is a true friendship. It's like having that energetic understanding. I'm noticing I'm in a place where some energies are just not for me. I feel like the more I've learned to master myself, I've also learned how to master reading other people's energies and just knowing whether these people are for me or not. At the end of the day, I'm taking the people with me that truly give off love, kindness. And I've also just learned that having a few friends that truly love you and understand you is all that you really need, and I'm happy with that. I don't think friendship is the most important thing in my life right now. Like having multiple friends, just having a few and a good family makes me happy enough. This is a big one. I am getting rid of the idea of wanting to be the stereotypical influencer. I finally let that go this year. I thought that it was my life. I thought it was my destiny to be a famous influencer, but I'm realizing I don't think that's for me. I like being on social media and I like creating content, but being an influencer, I feel like it's a very different thing than being a content creator. And the way I create content is mostly like self-development based sort of energy, and I really like that. Like I've gone to Coachella, guys, and it just didn't feel the way it was supposed to, you know? It's a little misaligned, not soul aligned for me, you know? But if ever the opportunity arises, I'm totally open to giving it more chances. Who knows, maybe it's for me still, just not right now. I don't know. Anyways, guys, that is basically all the things that I'm gonna talk about today. These are all of my 2025 ins and outs. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're on my YouTube channel, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. But if you guys are on my Spotify, I really hope I earned you guys' 5-star review. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.